when you gain the weight that you lost back, you are not the same person you were before. What's going on, legend? Angus Beef here. Thanks for just stopping by to click on the video. Fist bumps for you, you're an absolute champion. And I was also touching on this before, when you basically lose weight, right, and then you regain it back, you are not the same person you were when you started that original diet, okay? There has been some distinct changes that have happened, both internally and also physically. So in other words, yeah, physically and physiologically, there are some distinct changes that have happened. So if you think about it, right, let's say for example, you kick off a diet and you're 80 kgs, right? And then when you finish the diet, right, you've gotten down to maybe like 75, 74, okay? So fuck yeah, you lost 4 or 5 kgs, yeah? Fucking winning.
Oh my God! I win!
Happy days, all right? But then you basically start introducing the foods that you had been cutting out because, well, they weren't included in your diet plan or they didn't fit your macros, right? And then next minute you start to feel in a position where you are in control around these foods, so you start eating more of them. The perceived novelty is really high, so you're like, fuck yeah, I can't get enough of this. And then you regain weight back and you're now next minute 82 kgs, okay? You might be 83, 85. In other words, you'll gain 3 to 5 kgs back, or more of the story, you'll probably gain the bulk of the weight you lost back, all right? So what's happened now is that you haven't just gained weight, all right? What's gone on here is a few other different things, okay? So what's gonna have happened is that you've probably also lost a certain amount of muscle. Okay, so when you were losing weight, all right, 9 times out of 10, because the bulk of the diets that we see in, you know, the fuckery that is the health and fitness space and the dieting space, all right, because they will have you under eat quite significantly in favor of quick results, because that's what we all want, right? We want to be able to see our abs quicker and hit our goal weight quicker, but because there's such a massive restriction of calories going on, this is typically where someone will, like, yes, they will lose weight, which is cool, but not all of it is going to be fat, all right? There's going to be quite a lot of muscle loss that will take place, all right? Obviously with that weight regain, hey, guess what? There is going to be a decent amount of that that's going to be actual fat. It's not going to all be water, right? A lot of us go, oh yeah, nah bro, like don't worry, it's just water weight. It's like bullshit, mate, come on. Like, yes, you might gain some water from eating in extra carbs and stuff like that, right? But the bulk of it is going to come from the fact that you're now eating at maintenance and above when you were deep in a deficit prior, okay? So you are going to experience some fat gain. With that means that you are now going to have some larger fat cells. Okay? So a lot of people fail to look at the science of fat cells and what happens. So like, I'm not going to go into this in much depth. This is something that I teach my clients in heaps of depth, so they understand basically the fat cells and how the body regulates them as part of its self-defense system, and as a means of making sure that the body can have enough adipose tissue and stored energy to keep itself alive. But be aware that when you have regained weight, typically coming out of a chronic dieting period or a period of like under eating and massively limited calories, you will experience basically your fat cells increasing. What's going to also happen is that you will basically have a new weight set point. So in other words, like your body is going to kind of like, because obviously it's picked up on the fact that you've lost some weight and you've regained it. So as I said before, let's say that you started at 80, you got down to like 74, you regained the weight back, and now you're at 82. This is now going to set another fucking nail in the coffin of your body wanting to try and keep you at this weight, so that it puts up more resistance against you trying to lean back down again, right? So in an ideal world, when someone loses weight the first time and hits a nice weight, yeah, like if they didn't keep fucking with things and yo-yo dieting and stuff like that, they would easily be able to maintain that, right? But maintenance isn't sexy. Yeah, what's sexy is fucking skinny meat teas and, you know, unicorn water and keto coffee and, you know, thinking that nuts are a good protein source and all this fucking random shit we see, right? So yeah, with this cycle going on of losing weight and regaining it, one of the ripple effects is experiencing your weight set point being adjusted. What's also going to happen is your metabolic so your metabolic rate is going to be adjusted here now as well.
Well, Patrick, I guess it is.
More than likely what's going to happen here is that, like, yes, you've gained weight and you've increased in mass. So to a degree, like what you'll find depending on what happens to your exercise as well, like you might now have a higher total daily energy expenditure, but typically when someone's regained all this weight, they're not doing shitloads of exercise while this is happening, so it's actually going to negatively impact it, right? But what's also happened, as I said before, your body's starting to become used to the fact that you keep grinding with all these low calories, so it's going to clue itself in, ready for the next time that you go about your next diet, all right? And then what's also going to happen is that your thyroid output is going to be impacted as well.
Fuck.
So if you're not familiar, your thyroid is basically it's something that communicates with the like if you think about within your body, you've got all these different systems, right? Your thyroid is something that communicates and controls and regulates your metabolism, all right? So they coincide quite well. So for a lot of people, when they chronically diet, they've got a shit relationship with food, and they undereat and overeat and stuff like that, and all these different things, you'll find that someone will either have hypo or hyperthyroid over time as a result of all the bullshit they've been putting themselves through, all right? And then last but not least, your relationship with food will worsen. Because think about it, right? When you finish a diet and you've regained some weight, are you going to feel better about yourself, or are you going to feel shit about yourself? You're obviously not going to feel too good, right? And what's something that a lot of people go to for ease of comfort to make themselves feel better? Food, right? So therefore, I'm sure you'd agree that any time that you've done this in the past before, where you've gone to food to be able to help handle whatever the feels are or whatever, right? Chances are that you said you were going to stop at just one biscuit or one spoon Nutella or one, scoop of ice cream, but then ended up sinking the whole entire jar or the tub or whatever, right? So it's like, this sort of stuff will manifest as a result of, well, all the shit that's going on here. So it's like a relationship with food cannot flourish based on restrictions. Every time that you're dieting conventionally and chronically, this is going to just chunk away at just worsening your relationship with food. So this is why typically when I work with people, often we can't even focus on fat loss as a first goal, because we've got so much work to do first on someone's relationship with food and just getting their biomarkers and stuff on point so we can set the stage to be able to refocus on fat loss again. Because I find that if someone's trying to focus on fat loss, even with flexible based methods in place, if they've got a shit relationship with food, I find that they will more often than not struggle very hard, probably still end up binging, and as a result it will just be a waste of, like a waste of time. So there we go, fam. I hope you got some value from this, and hopefully it's opened your eyes to like the external damages and the internal damages that happen from someone going through cycles of dieting, losing weight, regaining it. Like, it's something that was a big struggle for me for years in the past. So if you can relate to it, do me a favor, drop this video some love and let me know in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Otherwise, maybe you can share it with someone who you think could be of value. Tag them in the comments. Let's get this spreading around. But either way, thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Peace.